This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all the things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
And a very happy day after Memorial Day, Tuesday, here on the Gary Sutton Show. Welcome. It is the 26th of May, 2026. I am Gary Sutton, Martin McKenzie here on the main street of York in York County. All brought to you by presenting sponsor kindnessworldwide.org. And also, our backline text line is open at 833-478-4729 as we open up a Tuesday morning here on the Gary Sutton Show. And hoping you had a great Memorial Day weekend, although it was a little soggy most of the time, but a good chance to get out there and have a good time and still, have the cockles of sunshine in your heart, even though it was not maybe outside as much until late yesterday afternoon. It was way too late to go out and do a whole lot. Anyway, Mark McKenzie with us this morning here on the Gary Sutton Show as we get ready for a rest of our week here. Lots going on today. And we always love to talk about a lot of the different things that are happening today. And, of course, Mark McKenzie. None do it better than he does as we open up a Tuesday morning here, May 26, 2026. Good morning, Mark. 5/26/26. That in itself is exciting today. You can tell.
Actually,
Yeah.
I was having a hard time finding stuff.
Were you really?
It's weird. I mean, most days there's too much.
Well, I've got something.
Well, I mean, I do have stuff. But Go ahead.
But I've got something,
Sure.
and I wanted to mention this because it's our question of the day today, our video question of the day. You can find it on @Gary Sutton Show on Facebook, which is kind of our home base, so to speak, and also on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. But I was really interested in this. I came across this survey. It wasn't even a survey. It was a thing that started in China. It's a startup, and it's based on wearable devices for your pets that claims to translate animal emotions into human speech with close to 95% accuracy.
Who did this?
And this is in China.
Huh.
It's a startup that they got started there. I mean, that's why it's a startup, because it started in China. But anyway, it's a Chinese startup, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Should I start talking about it?
No. Yeah.
I'll start up. Here we go. Anyway, the gadget hangs from your pet's collar. And it uses AI to study things like vocal patterns, behavior, and body language to figure out what your pet is trying to say to you. And so my question this morning was, do you understand what your pet is saying to you? Do you understand? And what do you think your pet would say to you if they could talk to you?
More food.
Maybe most people would probably say, they already do. And my family would be one of those. My wife is a cat whisperer, I think.
Oh, yeah.
She understands what they're saying. I don't. I ask her for translations every now and then because, although I think I understand what, basic things they're asking for. Dad, can I go out? Dad, can I come in? Dad, can I have food? Dad, will you give us the treats tonight? I think I get that. I think I get when they do it.
Okay.
But beyond that, I'm not sure what the other deeper meaning things are with them. And so what do you think that your animals talk to you? Now, most of us probably would say, yeah, but do you know what they say? I mean, that's my big thing here this morning. The translator, by the way, if you want to get it, costs about $118. And apparently more than 10,000 people have already pre-ordered them. I don't know if it's just in China, if they're just available or beyond that. But this startup company swears that 95% of the sounds they could translate into real emotion. But I thought about it. If our pets could talk, Mark.
Yes.
What would they say? For example, the dog might say, "What happened to my testicles?" They might ask that question.
They might.
They could
if they knew what what that was.
Our cat would say, "I'll get you someday, laser pointer." They would say that. Our fish would say, "Don't get used to me. I'll be dead in a day." Our dog would say, "Your leg looks hot." I know. Our cat might say, "Why do you always cry in bed alone?" Our bird would say, "Ignore Looney Tunes. I don't have a speech impediment." Okay. Our goldfish would say, "I still have a longer attention span than your teenager."
It could be.
Our cat might say, "Are you sure you want to marry this guy, Taylor?" And our tiger would say, "You realize this lets everyone know you sell drugs, right?" So those are some of the things that the animals might say.
Terrible.
They might say. I'm just saying. So anyway, there you go this morning to lead you off and to buy you some time.
Well, today is National Paper Airplane Day.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure why.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to know.
If you're making paper airplanes, do you really have a use?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's some videos on TikTok and Instagram where it's a very odd looking design, yet it floats forever. So,
you know what? I would pay attention to paper airplanes if I saw Elon Musk making one. Then I go, okay, aerodynamics. I'd get into that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
World Redhead Day.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yes. Food holidays, very specific. Very specific. Oh. Blueberry Cheesecake Day. No, thank you.
Wow, you're not kidding.
No.
You don't like blueberry cheesecake?
Look.
Okay. It's kind of like one of those, if it were there and there was nothing else around for days and I was on a desert island, I'd eat it.
It's the topping. It's not the cheesecake. It's the blueberries. So if you get fresh blueberries and you put a little sugar on it, maybe it may heat them up a little bit, so that you create a compote, if you will, and then put that on top. Well, I would definitely eat that.
You may have a conversation with Mark on that.
Yes, but the blueberry stuff out of a can. It doesn't even taste like blueberries.
Really?
Yeah. National Cherry Dessert Day. Not even like cherry cheesecake, but cherry dessert. What is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Let's keep moving. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Events that happen on this date, which are significant in some way, shape, or form. On this date, 1857, Dred Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Dred Scott and his family, 3 months after the infamous Dred Scott decision by the U.S. Supreme Court, is actually freed by his owner, but not to any help from the Supreme Court or anything.
It was Justice Roger Tatey, who was the head of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at that time. On
this date, 1868, the impeachment trial of U.S. President Andrew Johnson. He'd been accused, all kinds of things, but disgrace. Yeah, I'm going to read from the thing here. It says disgrace, ridicule, hatred, contempt, and reproach. The Congress of the United States ended with his acquittal in the Senate.
And there was one guy that saved him, a guy named Edmund Ross, who was I believe he was a senator out of, I know he's a senator out of Kansas. And Edmund Ross was voting with the Republicans, who at that time were known as the radical Republicans, who wanted to really make the South pay for the Civil War. And, of course, Johnson was kind of trying to carry out Lincoln's, reconciliation kind of thing. And Edmund Ross had been with the radical Republicans. Well, when it came time to vote, Edmund Ross decided to vote against, him being guilty. And that saved him. That one vote, and Ross was just tattooed by his party, obviously, and so forth. But Edmund Ross is a guy, I think he was in Profiles in Courage, John Kennedy's book about people who stood up in a moment when it would have been easier to go along with the whole crowd. Yeah.
Thank you for the background there, Adam.
No problem.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
On this date, 1896, the Dow Jones Industrial Average begins trading. And the average is 12 industrial stocks at the time. I think it's 13 now. Oh, no, 30 now. But the daily closing value of the first day of trading, 40.9. And, of course, now way up there. Yeah. On this date, 1897, so a year later, Irish writer Bram Stoker published his horror classic, Dracula.
Yeah.
It was on this date, 1908. Mr. and Mrs. Jacob Murdoch and their children became the first family to travel across the United States by car. They drove from Los Angeles to New York City in a Packard 30. Again, this is 1908, so it probably didn't have any windows except for the windshield, maybe. How long did it take them to do it?
I don't know.
32 days.
Really? Okay.
5 hours and 25 minutes.
We had one of them. We did a cross-country trip of like 6 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did.
I drove my brother out to California from Rhode Island when he took a job with the Navy, and
Yeah.
I think it took us 5 days, 6 days.
Yeah. I
Something
guess
like
we
that.
just steadily were driving. But
Yes, pretty much.
We stopped along the way at different places.
Well, we did too. I mean, Grand Canyon for like a little real quick, and then we slept in Las Vegas. 1927 on this date, Henry Ford and the Ford Motor Company produced the last Model T Ford, the old Tin Lizzie, and it was the roughly 15 millionth of the model.
Wow.
Yes, crazy.
Yeah. Model T.
Let's jump way ahead because, like I said, this date is really thin. The Beatles released Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which was
Good
kind
album.
of groundbreaking because it really was a lot different than what they had done before that.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart.
All right.
Yeah, just started.
On this date in 1977, I remember this, George Willig climbed the South Tower of the World Trade Center. And then they fined him 1 cent for each of the 110 stories he climbed. You know, I have a picture of my wife and I on the top of one of those towers.
Right.
I don't know which one it was. And I barely wanted to look over. This guy climbed on the outside.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
I remember when he did that. That was really weird.
Oh,
you could see it. But
crazy.
I love the way they fined him. That was pretty cool.
And finally, on this date in 1990, the Phillies retire the number 20.
Mike Schmidt.
That's it.
Yeah. The second best third baseman ever. Yeah. We have a picture of him sitting here in our next to our wall.
We do,
here in our
yes.
studio. Yeah. He's on the ground.
It's all right.
Which is where he should be, because Brooks would be up here on the. Of course, we're in Brooks Robinson Plaza. It's not called Mike
Exactly.
Schmidt's Plaza.
That's
it's
right.
Brooks Robinson Plaza, the greatest third baseman ever.
Amen.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a few people that would probably argue with that. And you have the right to be wrong. I mean, you really do. I mean,
You have the right to be wrong. You don't
no,
have to
that
be
is the never-ending question, isn't it? Who cares?
I would tell you that coming up next, when we make note of birthdays, we will play a song that we have never played before. And, we've been on for a long time. So we never played
So
this
is
song.
breaking some new ground.
I think so.
Okay. And we'll do that when we return right here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. It is a Tuesday morning on the main street of York in York County. All brought to you this morning also by Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law, 117 East Market Street, right here in York. And all ready to help you today. Give them a call at 717-846-8811 between the hours of 8:30 and 5. And they can help you in estate planning and all those kind of things when you need legal representation. Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law.
Is it on the list?
Hank, not quite. No, you know what? It used to be. But I don't know what it is. Over the years, Hank Williams Jr.,
Yes.
right? Mm-hmm. Has kind of made it onto, like, the acceptance list. I don't know what happened. I must be breaking down as I get older, but because I used to think this was, like, just awful.
All my rowdy friends have settled down.
Yeah, and maybe that's what it is. All my rowdy friends have settled down, so maybe
And
my spirit has
complainsive.
Yeah, my complaintive self has settled down. And you know what? That probably is it. I probably feel a little bit better about things because of that.
Yes, I feel I do the same thing. I think when you're young and they, what are they, well, I'm not going to say
you're much more
but,
judgmental.
Yes, exactly.
And they say as you get older you get that way, but I don't. I find myself getting more and more understanding of others.
Me too. That's exactly
feeling
how
like there's room for someone else's point of view.
Exactly. And it's like what are you going to? I think you often mention like that the hill you want to die on. I mean,
I don't. There's a lot of places that I don't want to now.
Yes.
But,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, there are other fish to fry.
So I played that because it's his birthday today, and
is he still around?
He is.
Wow.
He's 77. Made it well beyond where his father passed away young. Also, other music birthdays today.
Okay.
Stevie Nicks.
Oh yeah.
78.
Which and still singing.
Yes, she is still performing.
I still my one word to describe her is witchy. She's always kind of witchy looking.
She did that Rhiannon thing, and she used to wear lots of black and
had the flowing
lacy,
dress, and she would jumping around kind of like a witch does.
She really wasn't like that like when she was very young, but then after Rhiannon, she started to take on that persona.
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz, another musical artist, he is 62. A guy you probably don't know the name of, but a lot of people do, Matt Stone.
Yeah, I can't say I know him.
He and Trey Parker have created South Park, an industry themselves. They're the co-creators of the show, and Matt does a lot of the voices. I think they kind of split it up amongst them.
Kenny.
Yes, exactly.
Right, yeah.
I tried watching it, but I'm not able to pick up everything the first time out.
You watch that and you kind of say, okay, I've seen one, and it kind of was meant to chronicle what's going on in the news and stuff in a funny way, but in a really sick way a lot of times. But.
Matt Stone, 55.
Okay.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She is 60, and she's a English trained actress, but also has played in others. She usually plays the quirky one.
She does. Helen, I believe she was in the one Queen Elizabeth series. She was Princess Margaret.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finally, there are lots of other birthdays today, but this is the one I'm ending it on. Brent Musburger.
Wow.
Yes.
The great sports voice.
Yes, without a doubt. He used to host NFL Today on CBS. He is 87 today, and I saw a clip of him recently, and he's still kind of, doing games and that kind of thing, although I can't remember which team he's doing games for.
They're chess games now. I think that's what he's doing.
That right?
Yeah. I just...
Anyway.
Very nice.
Yes. So I don't know what did you do for your holiday weekend?
Well, we had a little indoor cookout last night. I found some hot dogs. I was down at the market the other day. Debbie and I went down and walked around the market, and we found. She took me down to Wrightsville to this little market called King's Market, just past Eastern High School, and we walked in, and I'm looking at the meat case. And there in the meat case,
what did you find?
Staring at me. I could hear the angels singing. I could see the lights shining on this meat case. Chili cheese hot dogs. Chili cheese hot dogs. I mean, right there is like 3 of the 7 main food groups.
So the chili and the cheese injected into the hot dog?
Yeah, somehow. And I said, I gots to know. I'm like, was it 5 shots or 6? I gots to know. And so we got them, and we made them yesterday. We had a little indoor picnic, and very good. Very, very good.
Do you know who it was by?
But no, it was made by them.
Oh.
It was made by them. That's what made it really cool, is it was a locally made thing. And so I brought it home, and I put it in my little Ninja smoker last night, smoked it for about an hour Oh my gosh, it was. I still can hear the angels singing as we were eating these things. So
Excellent.
that's what we did. But I actually played in the golf derby yesterday. Good part of it in the rain, and not that great. It was not a good day. But the friends I was with were very good. But
Now, the big regional event this weekend was the Blue Angels.
You had a chance to see them
at the Harrisburg International Airport. So they had canceled, I believe, the Saturday performance, and then Sunday, the clouds were kind of low, and there was a break in the rain and all. They did come out apparently and give part of the show along with the other planes, but it was kind of hard to see if you saw some of the videos. Yesterday, though, that's when I was there, and it seemed the sky kind of parted a little bit at times.
Right.
There was some blue and that kind of thing, and obviously Blue Angels. So they had a couple of jets on earlier than that, and there was some other aircraft. But when they came out, I mean, it was a sight to see. And what they were doing, they must have known where all these people were, because we were on the hill, actually Sunset Golf Course, actually. And there were, I would venture to say, hundreds, if not 1,000 or more, parked on those hillsides overlooking the Susquehanna River and HIA. And they would come swooping down. I mean, it was, and like maybe, I don't know, 50 feet, 100 feet above our heads. I mean, it was kind of shocking. I sent you a video of one of the passes, but, and you're looking around, you're trying to see where they are. You can't see them. Then all of a sudden, I mean, they are blazing. I don't know how fast they're going, but it's amazing. And then shoot right over the top of your head. A lot of little kids had like headphones on, but I braved it. If I still have hearing after X amount of years in radio, it's all right. And it was fabulous. And I got a great sunburn too. So
there you go. One of the great things about Sunset Golf Club up there is when you're playing golf there, the planes come in to the airport in HIA.
It's a glide path.
And so you could literally see the people in the windows going by you, like wave. They're that close when they're coming in, where you could actually see people and kind of wave to them.
Big jets, little jets.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's really weird to see the jets coming down on you as you're hitting your drive out in the seventh fairway, So it's kind of weird.
You can hear them coming, and it does make for a round of golf.
Hear the planes are coming.
Yeah.
Wrong song.
Unusual round of golf there, definitely. And an entertaining course, too.
But that's neat, too. You can see the Blue Angels from there as well.
Yes.
And so that's
so they managed, I think, to salvage. We got the best performance out of the 3 days, and was thankful for that.
We'll come back, and we'll give you some of the things that are trending around the country and around the state, around the area. And also, burned out Gen Zers are doing something that's kind of sounds unusual to me, but we'll talk about that and what they're doing when we get back here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK at 6:30. And welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on a Tuesday morning. Hope you all had a great Memorial Day weekend and had a chance to pay proper respect to those who died for our country. As we come back into the show here at 6:34, I was reading something this morning, Mark, that was rather interesting. In the New York Post. Now, the New York Post, this could be more fuel for the generational divide, I guess. Gen Zers and millennials have finally left their parents' houses, and now they're quitting their jobs to come back home again for a retirement. The New York Post claims some Gen Zers and millennials are burned out in corporate America and are looking to stop working for a while as part of adult gap years or mini retirements. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Mini retirements. That's not in our lexicon. We don't understand that.
What is that?
Because we work for a living. In fact, the hashtag adult gap year on TikTok has thousands of videos of youngsters ranting about hustle culture. Okay. And some people who have done this have moved back in with their parents to help them while they're actually retired. That's one way to make your cash stretch further, I guess, to leech off your parents. So why is this happening now, since being stressed and overworked isn't anything new? One reason, the rapid changes driven by AI. Of course, now you can point to AI as your excuse for everything.
Exactly.
There it is. Oh, it was AI,
My
man.
crutch.
Yeah, AI, Mom, can I live in the basement again? Rather than push through a deteriorating job that isn't the same as the one you signed up for, you just take some time off and find something more intentional once the dust settles. It's definitely risky, but it's an opportunity to reset and pursue various side hustles to figure out if you can carve out a new career path. That was in the New York Post today. So there are apparently people in this group that are just heading back home again just for a short period of time while AI kind of, shows you what's going on. So Gen Zers and millennials are burned out in corporate America. Don't you feel bad for them?
Well, I feel bad for this.
Go ahead.
Well, it's not that I'm a big beer drinker or anything, but check this out.
A lot of folks can probably still sing that jingle.
There's just one Schlitz, yeah, nothing else comes near. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer.
The Wisconsin Brewing Company has brewed one final 80-barrel batch of Schlitz beer, which is now gone after a decades-long decline, starting with a cost-cutting formula change back in the 1970s. The Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, founded in Milwaukee in 1849, made Schlitz one of America's dominant beer brands during the 20th century, using the slogan, "The beer that made Milwaukee famous." But sales of Schlitz steadily declined starting in the 1970s. The company then changed hands over the years, with Pabst acquiring Schlitz in 1999. Paul Stevens, Fox News.
Yeah, we used to kid about that. Schmidt's of Philadelphia, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. But it was kind of weird. Anyway, we were talking about jobs, and maybe help some of these, millennials and some of these other Gen Zers find jobs. Here are some of the most laid-back gigs bringing in the biggest paychecks. I saw this list this morning, and they call them lazy jobs. But there was a new thread on Reddit that has people revealing their lazy jobs that somehow still pull in big money. For example, some overnight IT workers made six figures just in case something breaks. Yeah, quote unquote. Oil refinery operators earn over $200,000 while mostly monitoring systems. That's all they do. They watch to see if they're going to screw up. Number three, corporate travel agents can make up to $90,000 working from home. Corporate travel agents. I guess they set up, trips for various, vice presidents and presidents of companies who are traveling around to go to meetings and all that kind of stuff. They set them up and they make $90,000 a year doing it. Cruise ship lecturers can get paid big bucks to travel and talk about subjects that they love. When I was on a cruise ship, I remember there was someone talking about some topic that I was interested in. My wife and I went down and listened, and I thought that would be a pretty good gig. Mm-hmm. And someone makes some really good money out of this. Some guy claimed he makes $500,000 a year as a hedge fund programmer writing pretty basic reports. Where can I apply for that one? Number 6, a construction project manager said he makes $300,000 a year while only doing about 3 hours of real work a day.
Wow.
Of course, plenty of people online pointed out these jobs usually require years of experience and have stressful responsibilities behind the scenes. But it's an interesting question. Do easy jobs really exist anymore? And there are some of the ones they suggest still do.
I don't know. I mean, how much of that are you going to... I mean, some people are already there. They just don't know it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're kind of like that. I mean,
yes. I mean, we only have a few hours a day, and, it works with our...
And we have our limo driver standing outside waiting to take us home afterward, and, people catering to us, the guy with the palm leaves right here. I mean, it's all good.
I'm told, let's talk about... I saw an ad for this, that Richard Dreyfuss was going to be on a Jaws reunion.
Oh, my.
And but now I've gotten an update.
Richard Dreyfuss has canceled a scheduled appearance at a cast reunion event for the blockbuster Jaws. Posting the news to fans on his Instagram, the 78-year-old Oscar winner cited circumstances beyond his control. The veteran actor was slated to appear at a Burbank, California fan convention Saturday. He wrote in part, "My heart is absolutely with my fellow cast members who will be attending. Sharing this journey with them has been one of the greatest blessings of my life, and I know they'll make the celebration unforgettable. I hope everyone attending gives them the warmest welcome and all the love they deserve. To the fans, thank you for carrying this story with you through the years." Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Who won't be attending? The Shark. I mean,
right.
They took care of him a couple times. He and his family, pretty much wiped him out. Have you ever refused to shop somewhere because their shopping carts are a mess and you don't want to fight with a janky wheel as you're trying to give a store your money? You know that wheel that...
Yes, there's always one.
Yeah, Target will be rolling out a fleet of new reimagined shopping carts, which are coming to stores nationwide. And they don't reinvent the wheel, so to speak, but they do make it all roll forward consistently. And I offer you this. The new carts are the Series 3 APC model, and they boast, number 1, smoother maneuverability and ergonomic handles. Number 2, a deeper, more comfortable and secure child seat, as if we all needed that. Number 3, increased basket space for bulk goods, Mark. Number 4, large cup holders for anything from snacks to Starbucks to sippy cups, because we know we do have to have all those things when we're shopping. And number 5, a modern design with durability and sustainability in mind. Yes, we are still talking about shopping carts here. Now, the carts are all plastic. The components can all be replaced individually, which theoretically extends the lifespan. And when parts do need to be retired, all the materials are fully recyclable. I'm so happy about all this. If you want to take one for a spin, be on the lookout. They aren't all arriving at once. Target says they're coming to most of our stores in the years ahead. Boy, that's general. Most of our stores in the years ahead. These carts have been in the works for 6 years now. They won't blow your mind, but they will make it easier to blow your paycheck at Target. That's in USA Today. Today.
Kind of interesting.
It's just one of those things that, you throw in there.
Well, here's a story which I hesitate to mention.
Okay.
Well, it's got to be super embarrassing. And I remember stories like this being told. You have an event where you're offering food. Okay.
Okay.
So you're already, it's either part of the, entertainment, part of the ticket price, that kind of thing, or you're just giving it away. And then there's always that one person who takes it an extra step. Now, I have a story, and I don't think we've ever told this on the air. But, here's the story that brings it to mind. And here you are. If you're on a cruise, what's the number one thing to do?
Go to use the buffet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
although I did not do that when I was on my cruise.
And I will say this, that early in the days of cruising, there were specific times to eat. So you did have to be there, but there were more than a few. So, you should never have been hungry. And these days, they have all these little specialty areas like the pizza area and maybe Chinese food. They have special areas, deli area. And they're open like all the time. So with that in mind, that makes this story really weird.
Costa Cruises says it is levying $70 cleaning fees to passengers taking the food to their quarters. Costa, a Carnival Line subsidiary, telling Fox News Digital the fine threat is designed to encourage guests to behave responsibly, adding that only staff trained in sanitation and hygiene may deliver food to guest cabins. People who take cruises debating the policy online. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
So here's the story. Okay, there was a remote broadcast that we were doing. This was the old station, and this was back at the time when there were a lot of people just getting cell phones. So it was very, very popular, and somebody thought it would be a good idea, and it was, to have this barbecue guy there. So I remember going into the tent, and like, this guy had chicken and ribs. I mean, it was a heck of a spread. And he, people were coming in, and he was making even more. And then at one point, I remember somebody, and I don't know if it was security or not, said, "Have you seen those two people before?" There were two people. It was a man and a woman. And they were going into the parking lot. I said, "They don't look familiar." And he says, "Well, I'm going to follow them, and because I'm a little suspicious." And I thought, well, who you be suspicious at a remote like this? Anyway, come to find out, according to him, this couple would they would take food that we were giving away. They would go back to their car. They would put the food in the car, and then they would change clothes.
Wow.
He had a different hat on, different shirt, and then go back and get some more.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, apparently he did it several times. And nobody really recognized, because it was a high volume of people. So that was the worst. But I mean, out of all the things that we've ever done, it was just that one that I'm aware of. So
yeah, interesting.
It was.
I never knew that story until now, and I'm a little frightened.
Yes.
Anyway,
thank God it was just food.
A man in Washington was trying to evade police, and don't worry, kids, this was definitely not Santa. Police in Washington were called to the address of a vacant, boarded-up house with neighbors. After neighbors suspected someone was trespassing because there was smoke coming from the chimney. Now, when the cops arrived, no one would answer the door, but they could hear someone inside. That person climbed out a second-story window and onto the roof. The cops shouted for the guy to come down, but instead, he climbed into the chimney as it was still smoking.
Oh, my.
He quickly got stuck. The fire department came and had to open the wall to get him out because there was residual smoldering debris in the fireplace. He was soon to be added to that collection. So not an active fire, but not a wise escape chute. They got him out, and it sounds like he'll be fine. He was arrested, but was first sent to the hospital to be checked out. It's unclear what charges he's facing. I'm thinking terminal stupidity could be probably on the list there somewhere.
That's for sure.
But that was out of My Northwest/Facebook. So I just, if you're gonna sneak out through the chimney, make sure it's not working at that particular time. That seems like that would be on a list of things to check out before you go into the chimney. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more coming your way here on the Gary Sutton Show. What are some of the things that are trending in terms of stories?
Well,
across the country. We'll tell you about that.
And we're going to be on the air in case you have let us know that there were aspects of streaming that weren't up. There should be coming up shortly, and some really good health news.
If that weren't enough, all here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. It's a Tuesday morning. And welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK, where it is a Tuesday morning, the day after Memorial Day, 2026. Some of the stories that are trending across the United States right now: the U.S. military has conducted self-defense strikes on Iranian missile launch sites, triggering mixed reactions in oil prices and sparking global negotiations. White House security incident: a suspect was shot and killed after opening fire near a White House security checkpoint. The incident has heightened security concerns heading into the summer celebrations. Seems they're getting a lot more of these kind of things, Mark, than we've had in some time. The California chemical tank crisis, have you heard about this one? Tens of thousands of residents were evacuated after a volatile industrial chemical tank threatened to catastrophically explode in Southern California. Authorities have eliminated the worst-case explosion risk, though smaller evacuation zones remain, and people are still out of their homes right now in that area where this tank was. They've let the pressure out of it now to get it back down to where it was, and they're going to now try to fix the thing. But it was really bad. Staten Island dry dock explosion. An explosion in a New York City dry dock killed one person, injured 36 others, while firefighters were attempting to rescue trapped workers. The New York Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers to reach the NBA Finals, with Jalen Brunson winning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That was 4-0. They wiped out Cleveland fast. New York looking very, very good. And
who would have thought?
Yeah, I know. And the Knicks have been quietly going about it. They're calling them the Nova Knicks because 3 of the players on there are from Villanova, and we're on the national championship team there, and so they have brought that championship thinking to the Knicks now. In statewide news trending, following the recent primaries, Democrats backed by Governor Josh Shapiro secured key wins in swing districts, setting the stage for highly anticipated battles to flip U.S. House seats. Meanwhile, the primary also saw a few legislative incumbents ousted across the state. State policies and broadband. Pennsylvania is preparing to move forward with massive broadband expansion after the federal government backed down in a wage dispute. And in energy and development, state lawmakers are currently debating how to appropriately regulate and zone for the surge of energy-hungry data centers popping up across state, most notoriously here in York County as well. And so we're keeping our eye on that. How are we going to pay for all that in the long run? That is going to be one of the big questions. And finally, yesterday, we had the ceremony. We had heard about it out at the Memorial, not Memorial Fairgrounds, but the Memorial Park. And this was the Four Chaplains Memorial of York County. And they had a special kind of thing out there today representing the 4 chaplains, most notoriously Rabbi Alexander Good, who was one of the 4 chaplains. But President Monday's ceremony was Paul Freed, who married Good's daughter.
Interesting.
And named their son after him. So they had this ceremony. The 4 chaplains are remembered for giving up their life jackets and gloves to 4 unidentified men. And according to survivors, the 4 men embraced arms and sang hymns as the USS Dorchester went down. Also honored there yesterday was Charles Walter David Jr., who's credited with saving 93 men after the Dorchester sank. He died from pneumonia in March of 1943. According to reports, Walter David Jr. jumped into the water to rescue survivors. The bravery displayed by these 5 men on that tragic early morning 83 years ago will always be remembered, said York County President Commissioner Julie Wheeler. So 5 memorials now stand at York's Gold Star Garden, each recognizing the act of service over self.
That's what the holiday's all about.
Exactly right. There you go.
So let's talk about some health news. And we're starting to see, it takes a while, when they have to do the clinical trials and, lots of testing and data collection and that kind of thing. And we're just now starting to see a trickle in of these kinds of drugs. And here is the latest one that is going to fight Alzheimer's.
Scientists at the University University of Kentucky's Sanders Brown Center on Aging say a compound developed to combat neuroinflammation in dementia reduced certain inflammatory markers during alcohol withdrawal. Researchers tested the compound MW150 in 2 different culture models containing central nervous system cells. And while that's early stage testing, researchers say this compound and another similar drug are already being used in clinical trials of people with mild to moderate Alzheimer's. One of the study authors, Caleb Bailey, said they can't ignore the public health burden of alcohol use disorder in Kentucky. And even if this compound doesn't change alcohol use behaviors, it could have neuroprotective effects that improve patient outcomes. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
And if that wasn't enough, we have other health news as well.
This is House Call for Health. The Carolina Pines Regional Medical Center in Hartsville, South Carolina, says recognizing a stroke can save a life. And to know the signs, they suggest the acronym B FAST. B for balance struggles. E, eyesight. Is vision double or blurred or not working in one eye? F, face drooping. Does one side of the face droop when smiling? A for arm weakness. S, speech difficulties. And T, time to call 911 if you see any of these signs. The hospital also says when it comes to strokes, don't take someone to the hospital yourself. EMS providers can begin life-saving care. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
You know, I'm much more aware of those now as I get older. I had a mini stroke on the air, 3 years ago. You were up at Harrisburg. I was at home. And it was the weirdest thing that I couldn't speak at that moment. I mean, some people say, well, that's what makes that different from any other day. But it was a slurring. I was looking at the words. I couldn't say them. And you came back and you said, are you okay? And I went, no, I'm not. And then it cleared up. In the space of like 8 minutes, it was over. And I got one of these little loop recorders put in my chest. But since that time, I had an AFib thing the other week. It had that... whatever that thing was I had.
I wanted to say a libation.
Libation, yeah. No. Yeah. Ablation.
Ablation.
Yeah, the heart ablation. Which, by the way, my friend this morning, Todd Genzel, is getting one of those today. All my friends lately that I play golf with are getting these ablations. It's like, line up. They're almost routine, and yet at the same time, you're going under for 2.5 hours, and so it's just serious enough to get your attention, and not serious enough to say, well, it's really that big a deal, So, it is something with your heart. So but again, be aware of strokes. I mean, they're very important. And those
learn the warning signs.
That is the big thing that will help you.
So
when we come back, we're going to check in with James Sanders here on the Gary Sutton Show. We'll also be talking with Trish Hauser, Vance Miller on, if you wanted to get another job, what about getting a CDL license? Have you ever thought about that? Well, Vance is going to tell you how you can do that and do it fairly quickly and make a lot of money doing it. All here on the Gary Sutton Show, all coming up here in the next hour on WOYK. And still out ahead this morning, Eugene Pasquale at 8:35. We'll have Jamie Norpel at 8:05. A whole lot more to do, all here on a Tuesday morning, right here on WOYK. I'm Gary Sutton from Mark McKenzie. That's the first hour. It's a wrap. It's 7 o'clock.
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth. You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
Speaking of Jaws, we had a few moments ago, we're going to need a bigger boat. One of the great lines of all time, you're going to need a bigger boat. And he sees the size of the shark. Right,
I heard it was ad-libbed.
And if it was brilliant. I mean, it was really brilliant. Yeah, it was one of the neat movies of all time. Always a good movie to get ready for summer, huh? Getting down to the beach, walking in there, putting those Tootsies in the water, and then hearing dun 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 dun. Anyway, welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here, the Main Street of York at York County every single day, except we have off like yesterday, Memorial Day. Obviously, a good day to be off and to remember. But all brought to you by Inside and Sparler Attorneys at Law, 117 East Market Street right here in York. Also, our back nine text line is up and at 'em this morning, 833-478-4729. The back nine golf installation right out there at 259A Pauline Drive in York. South York Plaza, where they've got great summer memberships. Check them out at theback9golf.com/York. PA, all out there for you this morning. This hour being brought to you by Trish Hauser, State Farm Insurance Agent. Yeah, Trish is the person you want to go to at 1865 Susquehanna Trail North for your insurance needs. Yeah, and she has been around here for a while, serving York and York County and the surrounding area since 1994. She has been dedicated to residents of York, PA, and in all kinds of areas like motorcycle insurance, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, condo insurance, renters insurance, business insurance, life insurance, recreational vehicle insurance, boat insurance, you name it. She has been able to insure things, and she answers all those questions about being proactive and preventative, getting out in front so maybe those insurance rates don't have to go up for you, right? Give her a call today at 717-848-4336. 9 to 5 of their hours right out there at Trish Hauser, State Farm Insurance Agent, 1865 Susquehanna Trail North. And with that, we turn this morning to James Sanders, our business blogger, who joins us this morning here on the Gary Sutton Show. Good morning, James. How are you?
Good morning, Gary. Thanks for having me on again.
Well, it's not like a weekly decision. You're a regular guy, so but just in case you sound like it's always like we're really pondering whether or not to have you on. You always have great articles. I mean, we use you. We ride you like a horse every single week because you have great stuff that you bring to the table for us.
Look, I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to talk with you and especially Mark.
Well, and if I were you, I'd feel the same way. But I mean, by the same token, it's no. We're kidding. Anyway, it's always good to have you on a Tuesday morning. And we cannot get away from AI, can we?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we try to get away, and they pull me back in. They said in Godfather 3. So small business owners are turning to AI now to manage their companies? Tell me what this is all about this morning.
Yeah, no, and again, this caught my eye because, we talk about AI in the mid-size and larger companies, how they're adopting it, it's impacting the job market. But when I caught this survey, I'm like, that makes total sense. They're starting to outsource or insource, I should say, insource a lot of the capabilities, marketing, bookkeeping, accounting. Thank God legal didn't show up on there, but I'm sure it's sitting around the corner.
Right.
But a lot of the tasks that they would use to outsource to other professional service providers, they're starting to do in-house, and or what they're doing is they're coming up with their own reports and pushing it out to whomever their service provider is, saying, hey, look, I just came up with this report. Can you verify? And then all of a sudden you're getting squeezed as a professional service provider or whatever you're providing to that small business owner, saying, they're doing exactly what I've been doing for them for years. I better get better at what I'm doing here. So small business owners are getting smarter, they're getting faster, and they're adopting this technology a lot more than people think.
In the article there, it said the average small business owner wears 5 hats on any given day. And they were doing a survey of 1,000 American small business owners. Now, that's not a lot, but that's still a pretty good representative group. And they found that today's entrepreneurs simultaneously playing customer service representative, about 54% do that, marketer, 44% do that, bookkeeper, 43% do that, social media manager, 41% do that, and creative director, 35%, often with little idea of how much each role would demand. And so with all these hats, the average entrepreneur is working over 200 bonus hours annually, they're saying, and 1 in 4 small business owners surveyed admit that they carry the burden of tasks they don't feel qualified for without seeking outside help. And here is where the AI kind of comes in the door, right?
Oh, 100%. It validates. The biggest thing that happens when you're a small business owner is you sit there and you constantly question, at least ones that are successful. You question yourself constantly because you don't know what you don't know. Well, what AI does is it gives you kind of that attaboy or that verification to tell you that, yep, everything's okay. Now, you got to trust the AI source when you're doing it. But, the fact remains, this is that additional layer of kind of support or foundation for that business owner to say, yep, I got this, and I'm going to deploy this. Maybe it's a new marketing scheme. Maybe it's a new website. Maybe it's a new, way of books. It doesn't matter. The AI source will sit there and validate kind of what's in your brain and put it in to a tangible format.
It's interesting that over half of these 1,000 people basically said they use AI all the time. They use AI constantly, and so that's becoming a big trend. The thing that keeps on hitting me is how fast AI is changing the market scene, how fast it's changing the business scene right now. Talk about that a little bit, if you would, James.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is changing the market, and it's changing the business scene. I mean, it's hitting you on so many different ways because it's making you more efficient. It's making you able to expand out your network, and it's doing so in a way that is not costing you an arm and a leg, for lack of a better term. Having to go out and hire that additional person or having to go out and hire that additional service provider. So small business owners are being able to play with some of the bigger players or some of their bigger competitors and expand their reach. The question is, how quickly can they adopt it? Right, and then number 2 is that business owner watching around the corner and saying to themselves, "Well, is what I'm providing going to get replaced over time?" And that's going to be the kicker. You've got to watch around the corner, and we've talked about this before. If you're not constantly questioning, kind of what's coming around the corner, AI is going to drive a lot of it. You doom yourself to going out of business over time.
The most commonly, most of these business owners commonly turn to AI for research. They say 56%, with design and visual content creation a close second at 46%. And when asked where AI delivers the most value, and I was really interested in this part, 30% of respondents find design and visual content creation most valuable when it comes to AI tools, ranked second after research at 33%. So creation of design, I thought that was kind of interesting right there.
Well, I mean, think about it. I mean, I do look at your social media posts and think about the memes you guys are putting out there.
Right.
I'm assuming that's not you and Mark getting the crowns out and drawing them and scanning them in. That's probably AI generated or something.
Well, it is lines. AI generated from a program called AI Plus that I use. Yeah. But it's amazing what you can do with that. I mean, I'm just playing around with it now. It's nothing that has a whole lot of, seriousness that matters there, and yet at the same time, it does catch your eye. It's something that you use to get people to look at your stuff and say, "Oh, okay, what's coming up tomorrow on the show?" or who was on today, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. I mean, and think about that. You're doing that, and you've got an N of 2 for a workforce. It's you and Mark, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, think about larger organizations that are sitting there saying to themselves, "All right, how many people can I deploy on this and get this expanded out?
Right.
You're making your radio show look large and impactful, and it is. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is you're using AI to grow your marketing audience out there.
Yeah, you're really playing with your 7 o'clock appearance right now, dangerously.
I know. I'm complimenting you. I'm absolutely complimenting.
No, you're be carefully doing this. I notice how you're walking the minefield, but go ahead. No, in all seriousness, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, and so places that have smaller business groups trying to do some of this stuff, you're really balancing all this. But AI is becoming more and more of a partner, whether you like it or not.
And then how do you connect with your audience? And how do you get that audience to say, you know what, I trust what they're saying, and I want to do business with them? And that's where the human connection comes in, and that's where you better be good with your marketing and your AI and what you're using it for. Because if you're a bad actor, people are going to sniff that out.
Well, you just made a great point, James, and seriously, and it saved you, frankly. But no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But we're good enough friends. I can say that to you. But
that's right.
At least I think we are. What happens is, one of the things over the years that we hope we do is, with the various businesses that we rep for and so forth, that people trust us, that we use those kind of things, and so you build up a trust. So now, if you are using AI as part of what you do, it's kind of a backdoor way to trust AI a little bit, even though I don't look at it that way. I look at it more like that's a tool that I use to a certain degree. I don't totally trust all aspects of it, but I use it to a certain degree. Mark and I use it to sometimes look things up. But then we also find ourselves sourcing, checking to see if they are legitimate sources that they're using. So it's kind of tricky. I mean, it really is kind of a tricky thing. But we do find ourselves using it in our business a bit.
Oh, 100%. If you're not using it, you are behind the curve.
Yeah, exactly right.
Absolutely behind the curve. You have to be using it. You have to be embracing it. I mean, there was an article in the Journal today talking about this is kind of the first graduating class coming out of college that was truly AI trained. So if you don't understand it, trust me, the people coming into your workforce, they understand it, they're using it, and they're going to make you look pretty stupid pretty quick, even though they're not that much smaller than you, because they have the ability to use AI. One
of the interesting things that we use it for here on our show is in the morning I will put up trending stories, and I'll go, what's trending across the world, what's trending across the United States, PA, and York County, Pennsylvania. And it will bring up stories. Now, the fact that it brought those stories up, I look at that and I say, okay, there's the headline. Now it's my job to go find what's happening behind that if I don't already know it. And so it gives me an idea of what people are talking about, and then I can go kind of dig a little bit and through other sources find what I need to find. So it serves a purpose for us in that regard, and I know for different people in different kinds of business, maybe a different way. Final thoughts this morning on this whole thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is not a trend. This is not a fad. This is something that's going to be part of society moving forward.
It is.
The question is, how quickly does it get adopted, and how much do you trust it? All I'm saying is you better understand it, you better use your critical brain, and you better deploy it, because if you're not, you're going to fall behind the times.
Great article this morning. Always lots of good things to talk about. Again, in the New York Post, and it was dated May 21st, by the way, if you want to check it out. Small business owners are turning to AI to manage their many companies, especially creative tasks. And the big survey right there. Hey, James, good to have you on every week. And by the way, you're already invited back for next week, so you don't have to worry about any of that, okay? Anyway,
all right, I got it in my calendar.
So you got that to rest on. Always good talking to you, my friend.
Have a great week.
You too. Take care. James Sanders right here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. And when we come back, we'll check in with Trish Hauser. She's the sponsor of this hour of the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. And what are we going to talk to Trish about? Be aware of electrical hazards in your home. Have you ever thought about that? Well, there might be a few lurking around the corner you'll want to hear about when Trish joins us next. This is WOYK.
Fox Sports Update.
Whoever comes out of the Western Conference, San Antonio or Oklahoma City, certainly a bigger challenge, more formidable test for this New York Knicks team.
NBA playoffs on ESPN. The New York Knicks advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time in 27 years when they beat the Cavaliers in Cleveland last night, 130-93. New York won the first 3 games by a combined 40 points, last night by 37. 6 consecutive double-digit road wins in these playoffs by the Knicks, who 1 season ago lost in the Eastern Conference Finals and then fired head coach Tom Thibodeau and replaced him with Mike Brown.
Obviously, this opportunity came up, and, from afar, I just felt that this team was ready. And I'm just thrilled to death that Mr. Dolan gave me an opportunity and Leon Rose gave me an opportunity to be a head coach again, especially here in New York.
Mike Brown, the 15th coach since the NBA-ABA merger in 1976 to reach the NBA Finals in his first year with the team. Brown also coached the Cavaliers to the finals in 2007. New York will wait around for the championship round to begin. The finals start June 3rd. Today is May 26th. The Western Conference Finals tied 2 games apiece between the reigning champion Thunder and the Spurs. They play Game 5 tonight in Oklahoma City. Whoever wins this series will have home court advantage in the finals versus the Knicks.
Svechnikov, cross ice, Jarvis. Back out, shot by Svechnikov. Score! The Carolina Hurricanes take Game 3. Their second consecutive overtime victory.
Stanley Cup playoffs on TNT Sports. Andrei Svechnikov scored at 14:06 of sudden death for Carolina, which took a 2-1 lead over Montreal in the Eastern Conference Final. Baseball, first no-hitter in the major since September 2024. Astros beat the Rangers 9-0. Tatsuya Imai and 2 relievers combined on the no-hitter for Houston. It's Game On with the Fox Sports app, available wherever you download apps. I'm Jared Max.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
I was watching the Orioles yesterday. Colton Cowser, for the second straight day, hitting a walk-off homer in extra innings to win in the 13th inning yesterday. I watched the game, and the Orioles kept getting down, then they come back. They get down, come back, even in overtime. And it was an amazing win yesterday. So, you'd have thought they won the World Series, but they've been trying to fight and get some respectability again. With that, we turn to someone who's already got great respectability right here in the New York area. I'm talking about Trish Hauser, State Farm Insurance Agent. We're out there at 1865 Susquehanna Trail North, and she is ready to help you with all kinds of insurance needs. But she's got something for you this morning about that we don't think about. Be aware of electrical hazards in your home. Good morning, Trish. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Still fighting my allergy, sinus, whatever it is.
Well, I'll tell you.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Good. Yeah, I got a little fatigued yesterday. I did this heart ablation thing is lasting a little bit longer in terms of fatigue than I thought it would. So, in the old days, you get up and you get at it and you get out and get going. But now it's not so fast. Slow down a little bit, and so we'll see. But anyway, one of the things, and you're always so good at staying out ahead of the kinds of things that happen before they happen. And electrical hazards in your home, we don't sometimes look as carefully as we should at some of the things that could happen that are potential disasters waiting around the corner, right?
Right, and I've got a list to go over today. You want to make sure that you are aware of anything that can cause a fire, obviously.
Yes.
Common residential electrical hazards are arc. Similar to an electrical short, it produces, hot sparks, and it's known as an arc flash.
Yes.
And it can set fire to anything that's combustible nearby. My son actually had something similar to that he showed me that was actually within one of his outlets. And luckily he was home at the time, and his house is fairly new, so I was kind of surprised. And it can happen with an appliance, extension cords.
Yep.
Extension cords a lot of times is a problem because a lot of people overload what they should be putting into there, especially around the holidays.
Well, and the other part, too, is you get those frayed extension cords that are down to the last little strand, and you get the cracked extension cord, so they can be really dangerous, no question about it.
That, and a lot of people buy antiques with the very old cords that are hard. I can't tell you, we've had several fires caused by that. So that's something, obviously you need to take a look at or have it replaced properly. Service entrance lines, use caution with overhead lines, delivering power to your home, that ladders, kites, things like that. You can get electrocuted. Always call your utility company before digging. And as you know, we live in the middle of the woods, and my husband decided to replant these oak trees little ones, and didn't call anyone, and had the auger on his little John Deere tractor, and the only thing he hit was a line out of 38. So be sure and call, plus you get fined. And so, like I said, pay attention to the condition of any of your cables, cracks, that sort of thing. Fuses and electric boxes. I know if it's knob and tube, 60 amp, we're not even allowed to write it for homeowners. It has to be at least 100, 200 amp.
Wow.
So you want to check your fuses, circuit breakers, that sort of thing. Make sure they're in good condition. Nothing combustible around it. If you notice burn marks, buzzing, cracking, burning of plastic around an electric panel, make sure you have a qualified electrician. And I say that because I can't tell you how many times people have put in their own recessed lighting, didn't read the directions, and the insulation was too close and caused their house to catch on fire.
Yeah, your cousin's brother can
qualified.
do it. Yeah, sure he can. Okay, fine.
And if you have a fuse box, make sure you keep, spares around just in case anything happens.
Right.
Some people still have that. The older screw-in fuses require replacement, so considering having a qualified electrician.
Thank you.
And, of course, if they blow, and that means they're overloaded. So have a qualified electrician inspect the system. Make sure your wiring, as we were talking about, is in good shape. You want to make sure any defective wiring is replaced promptly. And, monitor your home's electrical system. I have something called Ting. And Ting is nice because it tells me if there's an outage. It tells you if there is any kind of electrical hazard. And you just plug in a little sensor, and it's connected to your phone. So no matter where you are, it tells you what's going on.
Now, is that something you can buy at the store, or is that an app, or how does that work? Ting.
You go online and you can buy Ting. If you go online, and you can buy it, and they'll send you a little box. It's not very big, that you plug in, and then you connect it to your phone. You have to have Wi-Fi in your house in order to have it.
Okay. All right. That's good.
And then, electrical cords, as we said, check them, don't overuse them. They should not be placed under rugs or anything that can catch fire, that sort of thing. Avoid using the octopus plugs, which allow many cords to be plugged into a single receptacle. And then, your receptacle switches, a lot of them, now it's required. Some of the older homes don't have the ones that have the ground fault, the GFCIs. Some of them don't have where they'll automatically turn off, especially in the bathrooms. You've seen them, and you have to reset them. So you want to make sure that, you do have those. I think a lot of times now they're actually required, and before someone sells their home, they have to put it in, from what I've heard. And then, of course, appliances. I'm big on, unplugging things, especially if you get this time of year, we have lightning strikes.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to have your TV out and everything else. So I tend to unplug things no matter what. And, of course, the electric heaters that people plug in the winter, that's another issue where we've seen fires. So just be mindful and think about what you're doing and think about safety.
Always looking at preventative and proactive, and that's Trish Hauser, 1865 North Susquehanna Trail, right here in York, or Susquehanna Trail North if you'd like. And you give her a call. She's ready to hear you each day at 717-848-4336 between the hours of 9 a.m. 5 p.m. We'll set up appointments and in the area of motorcycle insurance, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, condo insurance, renters, business, life, recreational vehicles, boat insurance, and help on things like staying out ahead. And on their website at trishhauser.com, you can find out all kinds of really interesting stories, too. Simple insights like change a life, mentor a child. A lot of different things on there. Trish, you are a font of information. Thank you so much, and really appreciate you being with us this morning. Thanks, as always.
Thank you, and take care, and take it easy.
We will
take care, Gary.
You too. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Trish Hauser, State Farm insurance agent, right here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Vance Miller around the corner. Want a new job? Huh? What about a CDL license? Have you thought about that? Vance has, and he'll tell you all about it next on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK, the main street of York in York County. And welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here live from Brooks Robinson Plaza at Wellspan Park, right here in the heart of downtown York. We are proud to be coming to you every single day, except yesterday when there was Memorial Day, obviously, but back today. And with us this morning, a very special guest, Vance Miller, who is the Director of Adult and Continuing Education over at York County School of Technology, one of the hidden gems here in York County and known nationally for a place you go to get an education that pays. Good morning, Vance. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Gary, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Great to have you back in this morning here as we get you ready for a new life, baby. And you know, a lot of people are sitting around saying, you know, I'm kind of tired of the old job, or I get out of my business for a while, or I took a mini retirement, as some of these people are doing with millennials and Gen Zers. They're taking these mini retirements we heard about this morning, and they're saying, I'm ready to get back into the workforce. And one of the ways you can do it is a commercial driver's license, right?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, the trucking industry is what makes the world go round. Without it, everything ceases to move at all. I mean, it's an old adage, but it's the truth. Think about it once. I mean, all anybody got to do, Gary, is just look around the room you're sitting in right now if you're listening to this show. The desk chair you're sitting on, the desk you're actually sitting at, the lights above you, the walls, the drywall that put the walls together, everything, the shoes on your feet, all came by truck.
Well, and if you look around York County right now at all of the warehousing and the trucks hauling things from that warehousing and the routes that we have to all different parts of the country right now, it does take a genius to know they're looking for truck drivers. They're looking for professional truck drivers. There is a growing demand like now, like never before, right?
That is correct, and it's always going to be that way because as the nation grows, so does the demand for everything else. You know, and you're right. We are in a great hub right here in the Northeast area. We're a little over 2 hours away from New York City, a little under 2 hours from Baltimore and Philly and D.C. I mean, you imagine how many people live in those four cities I just rattled off right there alone? How much consumables are going on? I mean, New York City in itself, just think if every truck decided not to go into New York City for a weekend, it would paralyze the whole city. I mean, truck drivers are the life of this country for sure. And, you know, they've taken a negative hit here lately in the news and for good cause. I mean, but, hey, look, you still got to keep moving forward. It's an aging workforce. We need to get some younger people involved in there. And I'm going to tell you right now, and you know this, Gary, this is near and dear to my heart. This is what got it all going for me. I was a construction worker 35 years ago, working construction, got cancer, decided I can't finish concrete forever. What am I going to do? A buddy of mine, father owned a trucking company. He said, go get your license. I'll put you in a truck. And I mean, the rest is history. I had that license for 2 years. Started off on my own, got my own company going, ran that for 16 years, and then I got into education, and it took all that business knowledge over into here. And it, you know, you mentioned my title at the beginning. I'm a director of adult education now. It all started with getting that CDL license.
So when you talk about the CDL license and the ability to operate commercial vehicles, what is CDL training? Talk about that, because there are different kinds of CDL training, right?
So, yeah, I mean, you have different classes. You have your Class A, Class B. There's even a Class C commercial license, which, you know, is very rare. Not many people really have that one. But the Bs and the As are the big ones. As are your combination vehicles, tractor trailers that you see going down the road, the 80-foot-long units. And the Class Bs are your dump trucks, the single units.
You'd even have your bus. If you wanted to drive a bus, you would be in the Class B, right?
Yeah, Class B with a special endorsement called the passenger endorsement. Okay. So you got to go and get that as well. It teaches you how to haul people around, how to be safe with hauling people. And then you got your hazardous material endorsement, which allows you to haul hazardous material. You know, it's funny, if you have just a skid of spray paint, aerosol spray paint, that load is now considered hazardous material. So
interesting. Yeah. So
and,
go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's just a great industry. There's so many opportunities. You don't have to go into it and be a truck driver forever. You can get into management, do like I did, open up your own company. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Now, when you talk about the program here, we're talking about 5 weeks. You got evening classes available. You got 2 locations to suite the student in York and Harrisburg. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we partnered up with a career and tech center up in Harrisburg, Dolphin CTC. So we have a site up there. Makes it more convenient if you're out of the Harrisburg area or Mechanicsburg area. We're right there. And I think Hack just closed their CDL program down, so your options are getting limited now. And, of course, here in York, we take care of Adams County, York County, Lancaster. And, you know, look, we have some competition here, but I can tell you right now, with my background, it smokes the competition. One, two, we're a lot cheaper than everybody else. I mean, and you're not getting a lesser education. You just keep more money in your pocket.
And really concentrated in there as well. You have to be at least 18 years old, 21 plus for interstate driving. You have to pass a DOT physical exam and drug screening. You have to have a valid driver's license, clean driving record preferred, right? But you get financial aid and scholarships might be available for you. Some programs offer employer-sponsored training or payment plans. So there's all kinds of really neat additional things here that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, the scholarship one's an interesting one. That just opened up again last week. They haven't ran that one in a while. And what it is, it's a CMVOST scholarship. So it's for veterans. Their spouses and their children can take advantage of this. We haven't been awarded it yet, so I don't have it yet, but I'm writing the grant as we speak almost. And if I get awarded that, I'll be able to train veterans and their family members for free.
When you look at the success that you've had so far, I mean, the credentials can be used in any state if you decide to move. That's how good this degree is. Local employers are actively hiring from your program. And you think about 5 weeks, $5,000 for a new career. Is it worth it? It sounds to me like it's more than worth it right now, Vance.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you're looking at average entry wages between $55,000 and $80,000 for 5 weeks of training and $5,000 out of pocket, I mean, that's a small credit card.
So for people who are interested in getting involved in this right now, tell them how they go about doing this.
So, yeah, you can go to educationthatpays.com, look under Motor Vehicle Academy and CDL training Class A, or you can call us 717-747-2130. Talk to our recruiter. We'll get you set up. Classes run every month, Gary, so if you miss this month, you only got to wait 30 days for the next one, and we are running them back to back to back to back all year long, and trying to keep that industry moving.
So if you're sitting around saying, I don't have a job, there's nothing out there, guess what? We just took that off the table for you. There is something out there for you. Take a look at it. Give a call today at 717-747-2130 or visit Education That Pays and Does It Ever. EducationThatPays.com to get started. Even give a call down there, and Vance will take you on a tour of the school and show you what they have to offer. And it's not just in this, it's in so many other areas, but we're talking today about CDL licenses, which are coming up every single month down there through the adult and continuing ed programs. New classes start every single month, and Vance Miller is ready to help you start a new career or maybe pick up on an old one that you had some time ago. But nevertheless, great opportunities lurking down there for you at York County School of Technology's Adult Ed and Continuing Education program. Final thought this morning, Vance.
Yeah, Gary, you hit it on the head. That's what we're there for. We're there to get people back into action, back into earning sustainable wages, keeping their family going forward, keeping themselves going forward. And again, CDL might not be your thing, but check us out. We got a ton of stuff down there, all high priority occupations, which means there's lots of jobs available, and the income ratio is really, really well.
I'll tell you what.
So, I mean, yeah.
What you're providing for the community is mammoth here, and of course, getting notoriety across the country as well. But educationthatpays.com, check it out, or give a call today to 717-747-2130. They are ready to get you back up and running again in terms of a job, and back up and running again, literally, in being a CDL licensed professional. Vance, great having you in this morning. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, my friend. In the meantime, be safe, all right?
You as well. Enjoy the sunshine today.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, what is that? I don't know what that's all about. We saw something this morning. I said to Mark, what is that? Hey, great stuff. Vance, have a great week, and thanks again.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Vance Miller here with EducationThatPays.com, York County School of Technology Adult and Continuing Ed Director, and they are putting people back to work in droves right now. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
onto your blue suede shoes because it's now official. Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley are married.
Promise me that you will leave me never.
As amazing as it sounds, the 35-year-old music star and the 26-year-old daughter of Elvis say they got married 11 weeks ago outside the United States. In a statement today, Lisa Marie said, quote, "I am very much in love with Michael. I dedicate my life to being his wife. I understand and support him. We both look forward to raising a family."
You know, you heard this.
Yeah.
And what was your first inclination was?
This is all just a little promotional gig.
Yes, a little ruse of some sort.
Right.
It couldn't possibly.
King of Pop.
We hadn't heard them. They weren't going out or anything before that.
No.
It was 32 years ago today on this date in 1994. Michael Jackson, Lisa Marie Presley got married. But, Donald Trump was speaking during the 2016. And he said that it was very much real. He claimed, I believe he claimed
They got married at Mar-a-Lago or something?
Yes, but if you heard that report, it was outside the country. So anyway.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, this hour, and our show being brought to you in part by one of our other presenting sponsors, Kindness Worldwide. KindnessWorldwide.org. I'll spit that out. And you can check that out for, what are you doing to make the world a kinder place? Be the good, see the good, go the extra mile. Kevin talks about that all the time, Kevin Smith, and Kindness Worldwide, one of our two great presenting sponsors here on our show. Charlotte, North Carolina, has barreled toward a population of 1 million, and the city of transplants and unicorn natives is uniting behind a common phrase: we're full. Yeah, why it matters. Charlotte built a reputation as a place to escape more crowded, costlier cities. Now, residents fear rapid growth is recreating what they fled. From the Atlanta scary traffic to the New York sticker shock, I traded the Long Island Expressway, I-495 and I-485, says Dennis Carrillo, who moved to Charlotte in 2017. It is the same movie with different accents.
Yeah.
So Charlotte is filling up fast. By percentage, Fort Mill is the fastest growing area in the United States. With the population jumping 6.8%, it's only 20 miles from uptown Charlotte. Charlotte's latest boom brings the population to 964,784, keeping it the nation's 14th largest city at about 25,000 people shy of overtaking San Jose's 13th spot. So if you've been a person that's moving to Charlotte, or someone's going down there, they're saying, hey, we're full. You don't need to come down anymore. Stay out, okay?
I wonder if they have the same arguments that we would have around here back when I moved here about growth, like responsible growth. And that was about 150,000 people ago. Anyway, moving along, we were just talking about Michael Jackson, and I don't know if you also heard in that clip, he was 35 at the time, and I think he died when 52, I think, something like that.
Right on his early 50s, yeah.
Yeah. So we have another, I don't know, do you own any jazz? You're a trombone player.
Yeah, I own some jazz stuff, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you ever heard the name Sonny Rollins?
I did, yeah.
Yes, and check this out. Oh, and now it says it's not going to play.
Okay.
And you know why? Because
jazz tenor saxophonist Sonny Rollins, who played alongside Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and others, has died. Rollins, who was born in New York City in 1930, released more than 60 albums over his multi-decade career and was awarded the National Medal of the Arts in 2010. Spokeswoman says he died Monday at his home in Woodstock, New York. Sonny Rollins was 95. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
60 albums?
Yeah, 60 albums. He was
crazy.
He was kind of known as the guy that was never really quite satisfied, Sonny Rollins, but a great artist. No question about it. You heard a little of his music right there. I saw a piece this morning in the Washington Post. What is the right amount of sleep per night? And we've heard different things on this over the years, but a sleep time sweet spot is linked to healthy aging, study finds. That turns out 6.4 to 7.8 hours of sleep a night might be ideal. And they had some tips in here. on how to get the right amount of sleep. But of course, everybody's always got tips like, sleep matters for the whole body.
Less bone.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Women may need a little bit more sleep than men, they found out in this. That women need a little bit more sleep. Now, that's the case of my family. My wife needs more sleep than I do. For example, in one of the brain clocks, the researchers looked at men seem to do best with 7.7 hours on average, while women's brains seem their brains aged the least with 7.82 hours per night of sleep. Women seem to do a little bit better with a little bit longer, they noted, about 15 to 20 minutes longer. How much, how could too much sleep be bad? It may surprise people that more than 8 hours of sleep is associated with faster aging of the body. That was one of the things that came out of this study as well. The researchers said this could be because poor health is making people sleep longer, and this type of study can't prove that the sleep amount is the cause of the slower or faster aging, just that the two factors are somehow linked a little bit. But in some cases, as with depression, they noted that sleeping more may exacerbate the condition. So there are a couple things noted there in this, just a few of the highlights out of that particular study.
So this is the kind of statistic that people, I think in general, most people have a hard time with numbers.
Okay.
The bigger they are, they just can't wrap their head around how big the number is.
Sure.
Like a simple deck of cards. Okay. 52 cards, right?
Right.
You shuffle them, right? And you shuffle them really good. And the statisticians say that if you lay them out after you shuffle them, the odds are overwhelming. Not just a little bit. They're overwhelming that the order that you lay those cards out has never been seen before in the history of man.
Wow.
That's how...
That's different.
It is.
Yeah, that's kind of mind-numbing.
And on the other side...
Yes.
Do you like button-down collars?
I used to, and I still wear them occasionally, but for the most part, no. I still wear them occasionally, and when I was a kid growing up, that was the style.
It was, yes. I like the...
yeah.
Anyway, Brooks Brothers actually invented the button-down shirt, and the shirt collar.
Right.
This was in the year 1900, and you will never know where it comes from. It comes from them noticing how polo players would pin their collars down so they wouldn't flap around when they were riding on the horse.
By the way, if you don't have a life and you're looking to do something today, the Scripps Spelling Bee starts today. Yeah, this first bee was started...
T-O-D-A-Y.
Started in 1925. This year, the ESPN NFL analyst and recent Celebrity Jeopardy champion Mina Kimes has joined the bee as its television host, telling you that she doesn't have any work. This is the 98th bee. It was canceled from 1943 to 45 because of World War II, and again in 2020 because of COVID. It was started in Louisville, Kentucky by the Louisville Courier-Journal back in 1925, and 30 of the past 36 champions have been of Indian heritage, including last year's winner, Faizan Saki. And so that's starting today on Tuesday. Today, preliminary rounds will stream on Scripps Sports Network and SpellingBee.com from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, starting in just mere moments. So I'll be tingly about that. By the way, Jamie Norpel up next here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. First, we take a news break at the top of the hour. It is 8 o'clock on a Tuesday morning.
All right.
I'll be back.
All right.
Back in time to start Jamie off.
What was I looking for?
Having trouble this morning, so.
You just...
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all the things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth. You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
And welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show, final hour on a Tuesday morning here on WOYK, the 26th of May, 2026. This hour being brought to you by Your Computer, managed IT and security. You can find them at yourcomputer.net, located at 2069 Carlisle Road out in the Shiloh area of York. When you want to talk about flat rate managed IT services, 24/7 monitoring, cybersecurity, you're talking about Your Computer. I use them. I have a monthly plan. They keep the headlights on making sure people aren't sneaking in my digital back door. And you can't run your business without worrying about your computer. So Your Computer helps you to take that worry away and do it the right way. And also for residential people, you don't want people coming into your little digital world without knocking on the front door. Call them today at 717-739-9675. Again, 2069 Carlisle Road out in the Shiloh area of York, open 9 to 5 daily. Yourcomputer.net, because it feels good to have peace of mind. Kindness Worldwide, one of our great presenting sponsors here. Be the good, see the good, go the extra mile. That's what it's all about with kindnessworldwide.org. Finding ways to break the levels of kindness every day and really do the job out there. And, of course, 833-478-4729 is our Back Nine text line. The Back Nine, York's indoor golf destination, located at 259A Pauly Drive, right out there in the Shiloh area of York, or not in the Shiloh area of York, actually out there in the South York Plaza. God, I still was hung up on York Computer. Out in the South York Plaza there, right next to Giant. And they have summer memberships available right now. Go to theback9golf.com/York-PA. So all of that having been said, time now to get into what we are doing in terms of safety in our community. And no one, and I mean no one, does it better than Jamie Norpel, head of the York County Safety Collab, who joins us this morning here on the Gary Sutton Show. You can find him at yorkcountysafetycollab.org. Am I correct on that, Jamie?
Gary, you killed it. You nailed it. After Memorial Day, taking off yesterday, I was worried about your brain being a little foggy, but man, you were on your A game today.
Right there, all in one breath, I might add. And I know that, speaking of brains, you're talking this morning a little bit about our brains and some things that are going on here in terms of safety in our brains and the Loretta Claiborne building and the Wellspan Behavioral Health Walk-In Crisis Center, right?
Right, yeah. When you look at crime and violence in York City and York County, it almost always ties back to mental health. For example, when you look at we have a threat assessment and mitigation team. Those are held under the county that looks at people who are, capable of doing some real damage and hurting on a larger scale. When they look back, when the FBI did research and studies on people across the entire country on acts of violence like that, and we're talking like mass shooters and bombings and things like that, every single one of them had mental health concerns, right? Every single one of them. And so here in York County, we have a lot of hospitals, whether you want to go to, your private family doctor or Wellspan or UPMC, but there's a really unique, first of its kind in York County, walk-in crisis center where anyone off the street can go down to the Wellspan Behavioral Health Walk-In Crisis Center, which is at the Loretta Claiborne building, which is down there on the same street as, Chris Pasatic down there on South George. And you can walk in. It's like a crisis center where instead of going to an urgent care, where it's like, oh, I have this splinter or I'm sick or, I need antibiotics. If you are struggling, whether you are concerned about your safety or hurting someone else, then you can go into this crisis center and there'll be a behavioral therapist there to help you, which I think is a huge step in the right direction for York County to acknowledge that some people just need that extra support, and now we have a place for them to go.
Yeah, and I think that's something that, I look at people and sometimes people don't have a place to go. You look around and you say, well, I do. I mean, I go to different places to help me for all the various services that I have. But, we look around our neighbors around York and we say, sometimes people just don't know and they don't know how to get there. They don't know what to do. That is a big and a very real problem, right?
Oh my gosh! Well, and that's it. Like, the majority of people that will hopefully never have to go to this, right? Like for me, if I feel like I'm going to lose it, I have a lot of coping mechanisms that I pull out of my back pocket. I might go for a walk. I do breathing exercises. I might call my mom. 35-year-old woman, I still call my mom when I'm upset, right? And she talks me off the ledge sometimes. I've also, I've gotten to a point in my life where very few things actually get under my gills that much, except my 3-year-old picking up my newborn and dropping him on the floor. And that was only 6 inches, but that just about, I almost lost it. I had to take a walk for that, Gary. but generally, I have a lot of coping mechanisms. There are people that are struggling with mental health, or I'm thinking of, I went and spoke a couple weeks ago at actually months ago now, at a panel on violence and crime in New York. And there was a woman that stood up and spoke, and she was an immigrant, and she was legal. She was here legally, but she was concerned with ICE and people apprehending others. And she just said, my community is scared of interacting with the police now because we're nervous that people are going to be apprehended, not going to be here. And, I'm not going to get into politics, immigration. I know there's definitely tons of different sides to that. But the heart of the issue is that we have women that are now not calling the police, even though they're being battered or, hurt at home in domestic violence situation because they're scared of being apprehended. And so when you have these, these walk-in centers where people, it's not supposed to be a shelter. It's not a shelter. But let's say that you are, the batterer, right? Because we always talk about the victims, but there has to be a perpetrator in the equation. If you feel like you are going to put your hands on your loved one or your child, and again, that's a mental health, right? You've gotten to a point where you're making choices, using your brain, that you can go to this walk-in crisis. And I'm curious to see how it goes. This is kind of brand new, but again, it could be a lot of potential here for York for people to be safer.
We talk about vending machines, okay? We normally don't think much about vending machines and safety and health, but there are vending machines around town now. A new smart interactive kind of vending machine in town, which you can pick up health and wellness and other personal care items. Talk about that, would you?
It's called Health to Go. This came funding from a grant from Penn State College of Medicine. It is a vending machine with all of your basic health needs. So, we're talking everything from like condoms to wound care kits. We've got period pads, tampons, pregnancy tests, even fentanyl drug checking strips, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
Narcan or naloxone. And this is another initiative by the county to try to meet people where they're at. We do have a larger homeless population. When I know you have Pat Ballin a lot, with Life Path Ministries, they do a phenomenal job housing people. But now that Cold Blue is over and they don't have these emergency beds to get people through the cold winter months, people are more out in the streets. And so this vending machine is designed to say, okay, yes, we wish that you would go to, receive help and go to these centers and work on housing. But if you're really in a pinch and you need these things, you can come to this vending machine. It's again at the Loretta Claiborne building.
And this is part of a research study, I understand, so that we can understand how people use vending machines and how to make them useful for the community. So it's 605 South George Street right here in York at the Loretta Claiborne building. But it is kind of interesting. What are your thoughts about the vending machine? You don't think about this. Most of us don't think about vending machines going as places to go to get a lot of these personal kind of things. And yet at the same time, there's a lot of people that have different situations that they're in that maybe these are necessities. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yes. I think, again, it's a good pilot program. I'm curious to see if people use it. Immediately my head goes to, people are going to abuse this, right? Like, I'm even thinking about ornery, kids that just want to go and just take as much as they want from it. And that would be a shame. I hope that doesn't happen. But people have to create a login so we can start, tracking what people use. There's also a little bit level of accountability of, you're putting in for your information. Yes, I guess people could fib on it, but, why not try it? It is free. The money to pay for this came from Penn State. So it's not like it's costing taxpayers here any money. I will give you a little bit of, though, some insider, some background knowledge on getting this to this location. You know, a lot of people in our community, and I won't share which ones because I'm not trying to disparage. Everyone has their own reasons, but a lot of organizations declined this in New York. They said, no, I don't want it at my location because it will attract undesirables, right?
Oh, okay.
Like if we put this outside of a location, then people who are going to, you know, use it are going to be the folks that you might be unhoused or you might start encampments. And so actually kudos to the Loretta Claiborne building for putting it there because there I can at least name 3 different organizations that I know of that even declined it. So, I mean, that's kind of a question that I'd be curious to see, you know, your audience members. Is this something that you would put at your location or would you be concerned about the, you know, unintended consequences?
You know, here is an interesting balance point that you bring up. You know, we talk about safety of the community, and we say, okay, you know, I live here at a certain place. I live in a certain residential area, or I live, you know, wherever. And all of a sudden, someone says, I'm going to put a little vending machine out here to take care of people who are having, you know, problems, people that don't have good mobility, or maybe they're homeless, or maybe they're jobless, or maybe whatever, all of that. And then we say, okay, we want to help our neighbors, and yet we get the NIMBY kind of things, not in my backyard, right? So so what do you say to people to bridge that gap, to find that happy medium if there is such a place? I'm sure you come across those questions already. Tell me a little bit about the response.
You know, I'm really a big believer, you know, in personal choice. And if folks don't want to have this on their property, especially if they're the property owners, gosh,
Sure.
like that's their right? Like people absolutely have a choice to do what they want with their own property. What I would challenge then those people is to say, all right, if you don't want to be the actual housers of these vending machines, then what other ways can you give back to the community? I'm a part of Rotary, so I go to the downtown Rotary every Wednesday, and that group. It's a lot of business owners. It's a lot of, you know, people who have been successful in their life. And, you know, you ask them, because you and I live in the nonprofit world. I'm living in the service, really, where we're trying to give back to our community. What can then people who work a 9 to 5, well, you know, business owners, they actually probably work more like 60, 80 hours a week. You know, what can they do then to then give back? And so a lot of, you know, business owners have foundations that they give, or they just donate, or they support monetarily, or, I mean, gosh, you can give your time too and go and volunteer at the food bank. Is always looking for volunteers. The SBCA is looking for volunteers. So, you know, I totally understand if people don't want to have the vending machine at their location. I get it. But then what else can we do to support people in need in our community?
And I know in talking with Patrick Ball, there are people who are contributing to LifePath and various things like that. There are a lot of people that contribute quietly behind the scenes that don't necessarily want to be known for doing that, that are trying to help their neighbors and people in York County who are having a tough time. And so, you know, I think those things are out there. But nevertheless, it's good to know about what Loretta Claiborne building is doing right now. And this vending machine that's out there at 605 South George Street right here in York. Jamie, always good stuff on a Tuesday morning. Thank you so very much. And people can go to the YorkCountySafetyCollab.org. Thank you very much. How's that, huh?
Thank you, Gary. Have a great Tuesday.
You too. Thanks, Jamie. Take care. Jamie Norpel of the York County Safety Collab. You can find her in there all the time. Also, one of the great historians here in York County. She's out there talking about York County history all the time. Don't forget our show also being brought to you by Anstein and Sparler, attorneys of law, 117 East Market Street right here in York. Give them a call today at 717-846-8811 for estate planning, for business law, elder law. They are going to help you when you need lawyers, okay, when you need lawful representation, when you need legal advice. Anstein and Sparler has been doing that since 1937, and they're ready to help you today. Give them a call at 717-846-8811. Tell them Gary Sutton proudly sent you open 8:30 to 5 every weekday. A gold standard for law here in York since 1937. Andrew Harrell will be on tomorrow, by the way, about a lawyer moment at 7:35 here on the Gary Sutton Show. He is with Anstein and Sparler. We take a break. We come back with more news coming your way here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
May 26th, 1978. The day Atlantic City tried to change its luck.
This casino is now open.
For that was the day New Jersey's Governor Brendan Byrne opened the city's first legal casino. Atlantic City had fallen far from its golden days earlier in the century, when vacationers used to frolic on the beach, walk the famous boardwalk, and flock to the Steel Pier, where attractions included the renowned diving horses, casting doubt on the entire notion of horse sense. The beauty contest that became the Miss America pageant began here in 1921. By the 1930s, Atlantic City's street names had been immortalized on the Monopoly board.
I accept your nomination.
And in 1964, Atlantic City played host to the Democratic National Convention. But by the 1970s, changing vacation tastes had left Atlantic City behind. Hence, the move to legalize casinos in hopes of rebooting Atlantic City as a kind of Las Vegas East. By 1988, a dozen casinos had opened, and the number of visitors had skyrocketed from 700,000 to 33 million in just 10 years.
Yeah, it was quite a thing when I moved here. They used to have these buses that would give you, I'm trying to think of how much they would give you, $25?
Yeah.
Or $20? $20.
That'd be gone in 10 minutes. And yeah.
Yes.
And you
And
see these old people sitting there waiting for the bus at the end of the day because they didn't have any money left. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Were you? Did you go?
I only ever went one time. Never went on a bus. I never did any of that. My mother did. My mother and some friends went from time to time. But my mother would go play these penny machines.
Yes.
So she was. She'd have fun with those all day long. But yeah.
So not a gambler?
No, I'm not. I'm not a good gambler. I'm too chintzy with that kind of stuff. I figure it took me too long to earn the money. I'm not going to give it away. Yeah.
One day, I remember the I think it was the largest bet I ever made. What they did, I always went with money that I knew I was going to lose.
Yeah. Well,
So
that would, I mean, if you have a certain amount of money set aside, I suppose that's okay, unless
it was $100.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right. And I was playing. At that time, I was reading books about gambling, and
so you thought you had the corner. And
no, but at least I knew a little bit, a little bit.
That's you. That's a Mackenzian way of going about things. Yeah.
So I sat down and I would play, and it was entertainment. That's how I treated it.
Sure.
And I remember this one particular day, I had exactly what I started with.
Okay.
After playing for 5 hours.
So that was a W for you.
So that was it. So they said, come on, we've got to go because the bus is loading up.
Right.
So I'm walking out. And I've got my black chip. I'd never had a black chip before. And I saw, and the place was packed.
The black chip.
They were packed.
Yes.
And I saw this person up in front of me move and got up out of a table. And so there was one empty seat as I was approaching. So I thought, you know what? I came here to lose this. Let's see what happens. So I stepped up and I put a black chip on the chip marker.
The big moment.
And I'm going to tell you, every head at that table turned around and looked at me.
Wow.
And as if I was some kind of big shot, you know, $100 bet.
And?
I got a blackjack.
Did you really?
I did.
And so what do you get in place of the black chip then?
They put another black chip and 2 greens, so those are 25. So
did you walk away?
I did not. I bet I think I bet the 50.
Okay.
And I lost that. So,
but you did have some money. I did. You walked away, so it was a smart move.
Yes.
No, that sounds like the way you would handle things.
I just could not believe I got a blackjack on a rogue random.
Yeah.
And then I thought, and the more I thought about gambling, I was not a good gambler.
Yeah.
My wife was an excellent gambler.
See,
I was not.
Yeah. I don't go to Hollywood Casino or any of that kind of stuff. And God bless people that can and do it responsibly and all that, but I just don't. By the way, I do have pets, though. And one of the things that we asked today at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook, as well as on our other places, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all that, there's a startup that's based in China that just launched a new wearable device for pets. This is unbelievable. That claims to translate animal emotions into human speech with close to 95% accuracy.
Poppycock.
I want to get this. The gadget hangs from your pet's collar and uses AI, and everything, to study things like vocal patterns, behavior, and body language to figure out what your pet is trying to say.
Meow.
Now, wouldn't it be interesting if you had this hanging from your pet's collar the time you're taking them to get fixed? And they're going, no, not that. You don't know. Come on, Dad, please.
Did I hear you say?
You're going to cut what? The translator costs about $118, and apparently more than 10,000 people have already pre-ordered one. Sucker. But before you start expecting full conversations with your golden retriever, you might want to wait. The company hasn't released any scientific studies proving the device actually works yet. Oh, you want it to work too.
Really?
Yeah. So it could be a bust, or it could be the greatest invention ever made. I mean, it's one of the two.
I just don't think there's any way that it can work, at least not at this point. Once they build up enough data, maybe. But
now, did you talk with your dog? You had a dog at one time.
Oh, absolutely. But the last dog that we had was mean.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah, she was mean.
We chat a lot with our pets, and they do chat back. I mean, we do have conversations.
Yes.
So and I'm kind of sure I know what they're asking for, basic necessities.
Have you read about some of the things that cats do? Like there's a lot of videos on Instagram where they talk about if the dog stares at you or it makes eye contact, if he does this, if he does that, this is what it generally means.
Well, they say if a dog wags its tail, it's happy. If a cat wags its tail, not so much.
Oh, really?
No. Cats wagging their tail is not a good thing necessarily.
I didn't know that.
No. If you look a cat dead in the eye, not good, although our cats seem to respond to looking in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And but they, normally they say, well, that's not a good thing.
Confrontational or something.
Sure. And dogs are fun.
Yes,
I mean,
they
dogs
are.
Dad, where are we going to go? Come on, let's
Exactly.
go. Let's go have some fun. Cats are more like, not right now. I'm busy. I'm working on an invention. I'm taking a nap, whatever it might be. I'm coming up with a new app. That kind of thing. However, I have gotten the cats away from sitting in my chair. The new cat was sitting in my chair for a while. I said, when I walk into the room, I expect clear it out. Clear out of my chair, get to your spot, but don't be in my spot. And I made it very plain earlier in the year about this, and it's worked. So there is communication going on.
So you were
there.
reasoning with the cat.
It was more of one-way communication is what it was. It was like, hey, this is where I live. Don't do it. Just don't even think about it because it's just not going to happen. And so I'm the cat got it.
Okay.
By the way, this hour being brought to you by Your Computer. Yeah, much like I do with my cat, Your Computer makes sense to me on flat rate managed IT services, 24/7 monitoring, cybersecurity. So you can run your business without worrying about your computers and also run your life without worrying about your computers and people sneaking in that back door. 24/7 monitoring, a flat monthly rate, no surprises. They're local. They're right here in York, Pennsylvania. Your Computer managed IT and security because it feels good to have peace of mind. Give them a call today and get all set up like I did. It's 717-739-9675. You can stop by and visit them at 2069 Carlisle Road out in the Shiloh area of York. Open 9 to 5 daily. Again, 717-739-9675 or go to yorkcomputer.net because it feels good to have peace of mind. We'll take a break. We'll go back to Gene DePasquale just around the corner here on what's happening nationally and politically, all here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Give me a beat.
Well, we mentioned Michael Jackson earlier, and this is his sister, Janet, coming back.
And this one was Nasty from 1986.
Yeah.
We're still doing bumper music from that year.
She kind of disappeared then. I mean, did she become a mother and a wife
Recently.
and all that? And this kind of faded away. Interesting. Speaking of faded away, I was watching last night MacArthur on TV. Gregory Peck, the movie
the
MacArthur.
original Mac.
And how the old soldier just fades away. As MacArthur.
That was his big speech to Congress.
Well, actually, it was that made the speech to a joint session of Congress. That's correct. And then he also, at the end, he talks about
when he got fired
at West Point. He makes his final talk at West Point, and what an ego! I mean, big ego.
Big time.
He and Patton were the two big ones at that time, and Patton in the European theater, and MacArthur in the Asian theater. And of course, Art MacArthur rebuilt Japan. A lot of what was going on in Japan at that time. He was, I think Harry Truman used to call him His Excellency behind the scenes. And of course, it was Harry Truman who eventually fired MacArthur. And there were protests all around the country when it happened. I mean, it was MacArthur.
One of the things that he wanted, my father was one of the chosen few in Korea. And one of the things that if you remember the battle,
yes,
that it was MacArthur's idea to go around where the main battle action was in the southeastern part. This is during the Korean War,
right?
And go and hit them behind their lines at Incheon,
right?
And they did this amphibious thing. The Marines. That's my father was a Marine at the time, and that's where they went in, and then they started pushing the North Koreans back and back and back right up to the Yalu River, which is the boundary between North Korea and China.
Right.
Well, one of the things MacArthur wanted to do was
keep on going.
He said, "Why stop?
We got the equipment here. Let's go."
That's it. We should do that. And of course, Truman's like, "We just got out of a world war.
Yeah.
We do not want to do another one," and that's why he ended up firing him.
Yeah, exactly.
So he had this genius about him and the ability to lead men, but it also had a downside.
He alienated his president
Yes.
and a lot of his fellow generals from time to time, and so a mixed bag.
Yes,
mixed bag. But anyway, welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK 838 on a Tuesday morning. Don't forget Kindness Worldwide, one of our great sponsors here of our show, kindnessworldwide.org. Be the good, see the good, go the extra mile every day. Kevin Smith talks about that at Anstein and Sparler Attorneys at Law, 117 East Market Street, right here in York. Give them a call today and tell them Gary Sutton sent you at 846-8811. With that, we turn to Eugene Pasquale, who is the head of the Democratic Party here in the state of Pennsylvania. And lots of election stuff going on right now. We had our primaries last week here in Pennsylvania. Good morning, Eugene. How are you?
Hey, doing great, Gary. How you doing?
We're doing pretty well. Did you make heads or tails out of all the elections last week, particularly those in Pennsylvania? And then, this whole redistricting stuff that's going on around the country, certainly throwing some monkey wrenches into elections right now.
So just in Pennsylvania, obviously I'm a little biased here, but while turnout wasn't great across the board, about 500,000 more Democrats voted, which says something.
Yeah.
Across the country, and you and I have talked about this for years, this redistricting battle, it's not good for the country. Today, you could argue that the Republicans are slightly up. Then if a court case goes this way, the Democrats are slightly up. But these districts and how they're drawn now, we basically have politicians drawing districts to make their seats safer and to draw out other people. And I've never been convinced this is a good thing to do.
I haven't either. I do think maybe some kind of unbiased, if you could find an unbiased commission to do these kind of things. But I used to look at it here in Pennsylvania when the Republicans were in charge. John Pozell was the Speaker of the House. And I watched it, how they drew these things. It was the most political thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they're drawing districts around people's houses. I mean, it was crazy to watch all this stuff. And I'm thinking, really? This is the best we could do? I mean, this is silly. We ought to be having some kind of unbiased way of looking at things. I'm not sure what the best way is right now, but I know it's not the way we're doing it right now.
Look, it is an inherently political process, and you have to have lines drawn somewhere. So, I mean, just that by its nature is going to make it imperfect, but you should be trying to keep communities compact, and you should at least, now look, in Philly and rural parts of the state, you can't make them that competitive, right? We just know that. But in these suburban areas, there should be at least a goal of trying to make the districts competitive, at least doing something to try to make them competitive. But that is not, that's thrown out the window in most areas of the country right now.
When you talked about keeping communities together, what's the basis on when we redistrict that we should use to keep communities together? And I know they've talked about race not being a part of that now, and so forth. But then they say, well, you can use about anything else, but you can't use race. I'm going, wait a second. That doesn't sound right either. I mean, are we keeping it together by nationality? Are we keeping it together by, economics? What are we going to use here? What's the best way to keep communities together, whatever that means?
Here's an example. So take York County, take York City specifically.
Okay.
If you split York City down the middle and had sort of the eastern end go to one state house district and the western end go to another state house district, you would now have two competitive general elections. You would now have Democrats sort of spread out but those districts would now be more competitive, but you've now broken apart York City. I generally believe, even though I'm a Democrat, that instead of making those districts more competitive, it hurts the city of York not to have one sole state representative, along with North York Borough and West York Borough together in the district. That would be an example of just breaking it apart just to create more, to try to help the Democrats. You might think for an area that is similarly sort of constituted in a partisan way, breaking apart Dover Township, which is heavily Republican, but doing it just to try to help Republicans. Whereas, you don't need to do that. You're doing it for the sole purpose of helping one party, as opposed to you just got to find a way to make the population work.
Right. No, I get it. And I think you're right. So at the end of the day, though, is there a best way of doing this to your way of thinking, or is there any state in the country that's doing it the right way right now where you say, there's the model, there's the one we want to follow?
Look, I'm sure somebody out there will pick a bone with me saying this, but I think Arizona and Colorado sort of leans left, Arizona leans right, but I think they have done it where their state house districts are, and Senate and congressional districts are drawn by an independent commission. Now, I want to be clear. Nobody has no biases. That's a fallacy. But by the people being on these commissions who are not running themselves, you've at least taken away the self-interest out of it, and you have the charge from the voters in those particular states that they're to do their best they can to keep the districts compact and competitive. That is nowhere near perfect, but I have yet to hear anyone complaining about the maps out of Arizona and Colorado, so I think they're doing it as close to the best. And let's be clear, there's no perfect here.
As you look at the elections unfolding around the country right now with the various primaries and so forth, we got a big one coming up today. John Cornyn and Ken Paxton in Texas. That is Paxton being supported by Trump, Cornyn kind of like the old guard who's been there for a long time. As you look at that one, that's maybe the most high-profile one that we're seeing right now. What's your take on that election?
I think with Trump endorsing Paxton, I think that one is all but over.
Yeah.
And it does show, regardless of what his overall approval rating is in the country, he still holds significant sway with regular Republican primary voters. And there's no question, well, I think Paxton probably still is a slight favorite in the general election. It does show you that, Trump is more worried about loyalty to himself because Cornyn, up until a year ago, would not have even had a serious primary, let alone general election. But with Trump weighing in now, he's all but done in the primary, and the general election will be the Democrat has a much more better chance of beating Paxton and Cornyn, but Trump wants people loyal to himself.
When you look at President Trump, basically talking up these people and supporting these various people, are Democrats quietly behind the scenes saying, way to go, we're happy about that? Or, are people like you, that are the head of your state conventions and so forth, you're saying, wait a second, these guys are going to be easier to beat than maybe the ones that weren't endorsed by Trump. Your thoughts on that?
There has been two undeniable facts in what we would politically call the Trump era. When he is on the ballot, since he started this, coming down that escalator, when he is on the ballot himself, Republicans overperform. When he is not on the ballot, Republicans underperform. Those are just incontrovertible facts.
Okay.
That when he is on the ballot, Republicans overperform because I believe he brings out people that otherwise wouldn't normally vote to vote for him, and he's built that coalition. But when he's not on the ballot, Republicans underperform. And then because he yearns to have these people loyal to him, he picks candidates not because look, I'm not a John Cornyn fan, but he's basically been a mainstream conservative Republican U.S. senator. And why he's trying to get him fired, I literally just shake my head at that. But yes, it makes it so that we as Democrats have a better chance to win the election. It's undeniable.
Interesting stuff, man. We'll keep on looking at it. I'd love to look at the pros and cons of all that's around. I appreciate you on a Tuesday morning, and have a great week. We'll talk to you next week, okay, Eugene?
Hey, you got it, Gary. Hey, have a good one. Take
Thanks,
care.
buddy. Take care. Eugene Pasquale this morning. Interesting. Keep your eye on that today. I think Paxton's up by 10 points right now in that election, which makes no sense at all. Cornyn's been like rock solid there over the years, but was not seen as loyal to the president, to what the president's policies were. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, we get some summer storms like this past weekend, and summer storm warning. 1 minute it's sunny, the next is the downpour. And you know what? You can't afford to have your wipers smearing or skipping or replacing. You need to replace them before you get a road trip going on. You're going on vacation. Make sure you have plenty of washer fluid as well. Clear vision matters, especially on the highway. If you want help, Jack Giambalvo, family of dealerships, is here to give you a hand right now. They are ready to help you for that summer travel. And your perfect road trip companion is waiting right now at Jack Giambalvo. Plus, they have SUVs for the family, trucks for adventure, sedans for the daily drive. If you're looking for a pre-owned ride right now, then you need to look no further than Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. Yeah, they have wherever the road takes you. They've got the vehicle you want to get you there. And with their hassle-free, pressure-free approach, it's easy to find the one that you love. Plus, free PA state safety inspections, 3,000 or 3-month kinds of guarantees right now to make sure your car is safe to go. And they take the cars through a very, very rigorous inspection before they are ever deemed roadworthy. That's what Jack Giambalvo has been doing for over 50 years, and they can do it for you today. Start today at Giambalvo, preownedinventory.com. Jack Giambalvo, family of dealerships. Go further this summer and tell them Gary Sutton proudly sent you. They are ready to help you today. Jack Giambalvo, family of dealerships. WOYK News Time, 8:48.
Fly ball right field deep. Canseco back to the track. Looking up. It is off his head, it looked like. And over the top. A home run. It looked like it hit Canseco to the top of the head. We'll have to check the replay. It did. What? It went over the fence. David Hall's laughing out there, so it must hit something funny.
It was on this date.
It either hit his head or his shoulder. Let's take a look at it. Martinez.
33 years ago. The year was this date, 1993. Cleveland's Carlos Martinez hit a fly ball. It bounced off Jose Canseco's head and then went over the right field wall and was a home run. It wasn't a home run until it hit his head.
Hit his head and then went over the wall. And Canseco just, and he turned around. He had a grin of the stupidity. I mean,
oh yeah, right. I mean, it clocked him.
He lost it at the last second, and you could see him with his glove. And then it hits his head.
Look,
speaking of baseball, by the way, the Revs in Long Island tonight to try to. They're down 4 games right now in the division to Lancaster. They're tied for second with the Boxcars of Hagerstown. They kind of beat each other to death over the weekend. And the Revs at the Ducks tonight. That game, Daryl will be on the air at 6:15 from Long Island, and they'll be in there for 3 games. So that starts at 6:15 tonight. They'll be on the air, and then 6:30, I think, is the first pitch tonight in Long Island. So a big 3-game series coming up for the Revs, and you can listen right here on WOYK as always. And so there you have that going on for you tonight.
How about, we were talking about dogs, and your question of the day is also
but what would your
animal related.
Yeah. What would your animal say to you if they could talk to you, or what would you say to them if you could talk to them?
My daughter has a dog which I see several times a week.
You don't sound that excited about it.
Well, he's usually
yippy kind of things.
No. He's a it's like a German Shepherd bloodhound
big old fella
mix. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But a very good natured dog.
Okay.
Very good.
We like that.
But when I see him, he doesn't really get that excited. So like when he sees his dad or his mom,
right.
He's running around, his tail's wagging,
sure.
His eyes light up, he's ready. And when he sees me, I do get a tail wag, okay?
Okay.
But he's usually sleeping or just laying there.
Yeah.
And he rarely gets up.
You're kind of sensitive to this a little bit.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not he's not my dog,
right?
So, but
you were expecting a little something for the effort. I mean, he's in your house.
Here's the thing. I am allergic to dogs.
Oh,
so if I pet him, I have to wash my hands.
Okay.
So there are many times when I really don't want to wash my hands again.
Yeah.
And and then he wags his tail and looks at me with those big eyes.
Okay.
And, all right.
Gives you a little something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
so,
right.
Anyway, let's talk a little bit more.
My cats, when I get home, my cats are happy to see me when I get home.
Do they come and see you?
I mean, there used to be, one cat we used to have used to be like, you walk in the house and go, oh, it's you. That kind of thing. I mean, they gave you that over-the-shoulder look. You know what I'm talking about? That women can do that to you. The over-the-shoulder look which says, oh, You.
You.
Yeah, again. Oh, geez.
Well, can we get some other pet news?
Disdainful. Go ahead.
Yes, let's check it out.
Take a pause.
Tammy Riken of Reno, Nevada was thrilled to get a call from someone claiming to be from a vet hospital saying her cat Lulu had been found, but the cat was hit by a car and needed emergency surgery.
When he sent the picture and I saw her whole shoulder cut open, that was devastating.
That caller demanded thousands of dollars for treatment, but police suspect the photo was a fake generated by AI aimed at parting Tammy from her money.
They're monsters. I think it's cruel to use an animal, somebody's family, to hurt them that way. It's just not fair.
Reno police spokesman Hunter Mercurio.
With this new scam, they're using AI in order to tug on the heartstrings of the victim's emotions.
Police say if you get a call like this one, hang up. Then call the vet hospital and tell them about it and contact law enforcement. No word yet on what happened to Lulu the cat. Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
You know, I saw a story this weekend about a fight that broke out among adults at a kindergarten graduation in Ohio.
I did see that.
Did you see this?
Yes.
I mean, it's the first time the toddlers put parents in timeout. I was glad to see that. By the way, a study finds that AI, we just talked about AI again a moment ago, outperforms doctors in the ER, which is why the latest addition to the cast of Grey's Anatomy is a MacBook. It's going to join as an actor, a MacBook. Yeah. I saw this also that Donald Trump Jr. got married in Florida over the weekend. Now, the bride wore white, and the groom wore hair oil. Hair oil.
Hair oil.
Yeah, hair oil. Yeah.
It's hard to say.
President Trump didn't go, by the way. In his defense, it probably won't be the last one, so he's probably got a chance to go again. So I'm just saying that Donald Trump Jr. has been known to, kind of go through him a little bit here. So anyway, they're just some of the news you might have missed here on the Gary Sutton Show.
I'm sorry. It is National Paper Airplane Day. World Redhead Day.
Yes.
And food holidays, very specific. It's National Cherry Dessert Day. So it makes me wonder if is that a particular kind of dessert? Cherry dessert?
I don't know.
It's it doesn't matter. And Blueberry Cheesecake Day.
And finally, happy birthday to Bob Dylan, who turned 85 this past weekend. Hard to believe he's 85. Yeah. Nobody bought him a gift because they couldn't understand what he asked for. So that's been a problem for a long time, though. And so
moving along.
Go ahead.
One final fact that you may not have known.
Yes.
Which state do you think manufactures the most guns?
The most guns? I would think Texas.
See, I would think that
too. I would go to Texas right away.
The answer is New Hampshire.
Really?
Yes.
Now that's amazing to me.
Followed by Missouri, Florida, North Carolina, and Mississippi.
Texas, you're not trying. Let's go. Well, anyway, it's been great having you on the show today. Good to be back in our chairs today, and we're looking forward to tomorrow as well. We got a great show lined up for you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a good day today. Hopefully it's not going to rain. Get out there and enjoy some of your activities you missed over the weekend. Thanks to Mark. Thanks to you. I'm Gary Sutton. This is the Main Street of York and York County. It's 9 o'clock.